Hello, my name is Nathan Taylor, otherwise known as Sockmatician, and this is a video tutorial to accompany the Sockmatician's double knitted brioche ebook. This particular video looks at how to work the one needle Kitchener graft incorporating a centered double decrease. Now this is a technique which is used to great effect at the edges of the Superstar poncho pattern, where in the final row of actual knitting of the poncho one has worked several double decrease setups into the round ready to graft over the top of them. And as you can see on this swatch here, that's what I've done. In the previous row I have I've worked my double decrease setup, so you can see that I've got 3 adjacent knit stitches under one shared yarn over there and 3 adjacent purl stitches under one shared yarn over there. So what I'm going to be doing with this swatch is I'm going to be doing the one needle Kitchener graft from the edge all the way up to this point, then incorporating the centered double decrease into the graft, and then continuing with ordinary one needle Kitchener graft to the end of the row. Everything in this chapter builds on the one needle Kitchener graft chapter itself, so it's a good idea to familiarise yourself with how that all works. I'm going to whiz through all that bit until we just get to the bit that's relevant to this particular tutorial. As you know, with a one needle Kitchener graft, the first thing to do is a purl setup row. The purl setup row builds a layer of stitches on just the purl stitches for the back side of the fabric, so that when you graft across the front, you have you'll be building up a layer on the front then, and the two sides will then match. I'm not going to go into great detail here. I'm just going to whiz through showing you how to do it, because all I need to show you in this tutorial is what you do during the purl setup row for these 6 stitches, and then during the graft for these 6 stitches. Everything either side of that is exactly the same. So the first thing to do is to work along your row, slipping your knit stitches with their yarn overs, and then bring the yarn forward and purling into the purl stitch with its yarn over, and take the yarn to the back, slip with the yarn at the back, bring the yarn forward, purl with it's the pearl coloured yarn, even though it's in my right hand because I'm only using the pearl coloured yarn at the moment. I'm at the point where I've been working along my row with my pearl coloured yarn, purling all the purl stitches and slipping all the knit stitches, and I've just got one more pair to do. So I slip the knit coloured stitch, I bring the yarn to the front, and I purl the purl stitch and take the yarn to the back. So this is the point where I've come to the double decrease setup from the previous row. It's very easily dealt with on this setup row. I just slip all 3 stitches purlwise with the shared yarn over from the left needle to the right. Step 2 is I bring my pearl coloured yarn to the front of the work, coming between the 2 needles. Step 3, purl into the first of the 3 adjacent purl stitches with the shared yarn over, but let only the stitch drop off. So I'm going to purl into the 2 strands together and then just let the stitch slide off the needle, leaving the shared yarn over the top of the left needle as you go. That should stay on the needle. Step 4, purl into the second of the 3 adjacent purl stitches with the shared yarn over. So it's a repeat of step 3. Purl into those 2 strands together, but only slip the stitch off. Step 5 is do exactly the same with the third one. This time you can slip the yarn over and the stitch off the needle as you complete that purl stitch. Then you take the yarn to the back. Now I'm going to continue along my setup row, slipping the knit stitches, yarn to the front, purling the purl stitches, yarn to the back, all the way across till I reach the end of the row. Then this is something you won't need to do because the poncho is worked in the round, but because this swatch is knitted flat, I'm sliding my stitches back to the beginning of the row without turning the work. So I'm still going to be working on the same side of the swatch here. Now I'm going to break my knit coloured yarn, leaving enough for 5 times the width of my project as a tail, and that's what I'm going to be using for doing the graft. As you can see, I've now broken my knit coloured yarn and I've threaded it onto a tapestry needle. I've got plenty of yarn here, probably more than I need, but it's better to have more than less. And I'm going to start working the way grafting along these stitches here, and I'm going to get to the point as will you, where I have completed all steps of the graft until I get to one pair of stitches before the double decrease setup. So there's the 3 adjacent knit stitches, there's a purl stitch without a yarn over, and there's a knit stitch with a yarn over. So I'm going to graft until I get to this point, and then I'll stop. How I'm doing this graft is all covered in the 1 needle Kitchener graft video, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but I'm just working along, grafting the stitches closed, trying to make sure everything doesn't wrap around the needle the way it wants to, by going like so. I slip the first stitch with its yarn over knitwise onto the tapestry needle, and then I go purlwise through the next knit stitch with its yarn over and pull through. Then I slip the next stitch without a yarn over, purlwise onto the tapestry needle, come between the next knit stitch and the purl stitch and enter that purl stitch in a knitwise direction and pull through, making sure nothing tangles around itself, like that. And here I am at the point where I said I would be. I've got 1 full pair of stitches still to graft before I reach the 3 and 3 of the double decrease setup. So step 1 of this next part of the graft, incorporating the center double decrease, step 1 is to slip 1 stitch with its yarn over knitwise from the left needle onto the tapestry needle. Very familiar, we've been doing this already. Step 2 is slip a 2nd stitch, it has no yarn over, that's this one here, also knitwise from the left needle onto the tapestry needle. Already a little bit different. Step 3, slip the next 2 stitches on the left needle with their shared yarn over together and knitwise from the left needle onto the tapestry needle. So that's ignoring that 3rd stitch there, but going in that way into both of the brown stitches and the blue shared yarn over and slipping them across onto the tapestry needle. Step 4, slip just the shared yarn over without any stitches knitwise from the tapestry needle to the left needle. So that's going in with the working needle on the left there, going in from front to back and slipping just the shared yarn over, ignoring the stitches, back over to the left needle. Step 5, slip the next stitch with the shared yarn over knitwise from the left needle to the onto the tapestry needle, and that looks like that. Step 6, slip the next 3 purl stitches, they do not have yarn overs, individually and knitwise from the left needle onto the tapestry needle. 1 knitwise, 2 knitwise, 3 knitwise. This tapestry needle is getting quite full. Step 7, slip the same 3 purl stitches purlwise from the tapestry needle back to the left needle. What that's done is remount them. 1, 2, and 3. They're now sitting with their right leg behind the needle instead of in front of it. Step 8, slip the first 2 of the 3 purl stitches together and purlwise through the back legs from the left needle onto the tapestry needle. That means bringing the tapestry needle round behind both of them and coming into them in this direction towards you, and then slipping them across to the tapestry needle. Step 9 is slip the 3rd purl stitch, this one, also purlwise through the back legs from the left needle onto the tapestry needle, again going in behind it, coming in towards you and slipping it over like that. Step 10, slip all 3 purl stitches purlwise from the tapestry needle back to the left needle. So you can go into all of those 3 together like that and just transfer them back onto the left needle. Step 11, slip the 3 knit stitches and their shared yarn over knitwise from the tapestry needle back to the left needle. So that's just these 3 strands here, ignoring all of this stuff at the beginning of the tapestry needle here, these 3 and the shared yarn over knitwise from the tapestry needle back to the left needle. So that means bringing the left needle round in front of all 4 of those strands and going in through that way and slipping them back over onto the left needle like that. Step 12, slip 1 stitch, it has no yarn over, knitwise from the tapestry needle to the left needle. That's the purl stitch there, knitwise going in from the front, of course. Step 13 is insert the tip of the tapestry needle purlwise into the front of all 3 knit stitches with the shared yarn over on the left needle and pull through. So it's missing out that one and going in purlwise through all 3 of those. And this can be a little bit tricksy because these stitches are all twisted around the needle. So wiggle it through into all of them like that, and then you can pull through. Making sure nothing gets tangled around itself. There you go. Step 14, slip 1 stitch, it has no yarn over, purlwise from the left needle onto the tapestry needle. Purlwise like that onto the tapestry needle. Step 15, take the tapestry needle behind the work and coming towards you, insert the tip of it between the 3 knit stitches with their shared yarn over and the 3 purl stitches and pull through. So come towards you like that and pull through. Again, making sure nothing wraps around itself. Pull that quite snug. Step 16, ignoring the 3 knit stitches and the shared yarn over completely, insert the tip of the tapestry needle into the 3 purl stitches, all 3 together and knitwise, and pull through, pulling the tapestry needle from behind the work. So that looks like this. Ignoring that completely, I'm going to go into 1, 2, and 3 of the purl stitches. Again, that can be a little bit tricksy to get through. A sharper needle is preferable. I'm just going to loosen that up a little bit from the front, then I can get my tapestry needle into all 3 and then pull the yarn through from the back like that. Step 17, slip the 3 knit stitches with their shared yarn over together and knitwise from the left needle onto the tapestry needle. That goes in that way. Again, it's all quite snug by this point, so some of it can be a little bit of a struggle, but do persevere with it, you are right. Slipping it onto the tapestry needle knitwise like that. Step 18, ignoring the 3 purl stitches, insert the tip of the tapestry needle purlwise into the front of the next knit stitch with its yarn over on the left needle, that's over here, and pull through. Step 19, slip the 3 purl stitches together and purlwise from the left needle onto the tapestry needle. Purlwise going in from back to front, of course, slipping them across. Step 20, take the tapestry needle behind the work and coming towards you, insert the tip of it between the first stitch on the left needle with its yarn over and the second stitch, which doesn't have a yarn over. Then swing the point of the tapestry needle around so that you can enter knitwise into that purl stitch there. That's a maneuver that you've done before. That gets you back on familiar territory. Oops. Make sure again that that doesn't want to tangle around itself. Doing it on camera is a little bit tricksy. There we are. At that point, I'm back into the normal swing of things with the standard instructions for continuing the Kitchener graft, which I'm going to do and get myself all the way along to the end of this row, so we can come back and I can show you exactly what that has achieved. There we are. I've now finished grafting the stitches across the top there, and as you can see, I've got this rather lovely looking centered double decrease where the center stitch sits proudly on the top there, and they come together right at the very edge of the work there. There's no extra stitch creating a sort of a knobble on the end of the decrease. The decrease goes right to the edge of the fabric, and if I turn the work over, I've got exactly the same happening there on the back. So you've got this nice, fairly stretchy, grafted together edge, which I absolutely love at the end of my double knitted brioche, and the centered double decrease there and there, working its way right to the very end. And that's how to work the one needle Kitchener graft incorporating the centered double decrease in double knitted brioche. Zip!